Okay. Oh, can't forget Madagascar, the wonderful cartoon that shows the diverse creatures that can only be found in Madagascar. But Madagascar does have a tragedy that's ongoing with the rainforests, because once covered with one of the most diverse rainforests on the planet, and it might be the most unique because of how the landmass separated and isolation and the creatures that live there, lemurs. There are creatures that are found there that are found nowhere else, many of them. And they're going extinct at a very rapid rate. Madagascar has a lot of poverty. It's people by, again, it's Malay speaking. A lot of Madagascar is Malay speaking. And there's people from all over too that live there. But there's a lot of poverty, a lot of development, and taking down of rainforest. Because the rainforest is the people's resource, but once it's taken down, it doesn't grow back. And tragically, this has been happening at a very rapid rate, and yet the poverty persists. So Madagascar does have its issues with struggling to stay alive and afloat versus losing its precious rainforest resource. So beautiful, beautiful East Africa. And again, there's a lot of tourism here. And what we can do right now, sometimes I like to take two different regions and contrast them so we can remember on our fluid mental map, remember the main attributes of each region, and then we'll be able to distinguish between the regions. So let's use East and West Africa before we actually get to West Africa. Let's delineate these characteristics between the two, because really they're very different. And and also equatorial Africa. So what makes the region of East Africa so different is its climate. So, and it comes from physiography. So physically, there's a huge uplift here in the Horn and in the Great Lakes. There is a very huge uplift of, remember we were talking about plate tectonics and the pushing together, and also there's places, the rift valleys are actually caused by a separation and drop. So actually during plate tectonics and movement underneath the crust of the earth, there was these plateaus, these great plateaus lifted up. So East Africa is much, much, much higher than equatorial Africa, which is a basin or a very low spot. And remember, we said that deserts and rainforests grow in very low areas. So here in the Congo and in equatorial Africa is such a different climate than it is in East Africa. This climate is hot, sticky, muggy, rainforest climate. And this is cooler, it's higher, it's drier, and there's a lot less of the diseases that you would get with mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are born in great number in these hot, sticky, wet areas. And so you aren't going to have the diseases, the level of diseases that you have in these hot equatorial climates. So really it's climate that will delineate the differences between equatorial, and also West Africa can be steamy and hot too. But this area is very high and dry and much cooler, and then you also have the Great Lakes, very fertile. There's volcanic soils, there's rivers, and rivers are born here too. So you can see there's just a lot of water, great climate, a lot of natural beauty with these Great Lakes and these rift valleys. And that's why, and along with the culture, much like the people